Hello, Andrews University. In a couple of days, we will be scattering around the country and maybe beyond for spring break. During the week after we return to campus from that break, our President-elect, John Wesley Taylor, will be visiting us for a few days. With that visit in mind, I want to share a few words with you. And before I do so, I want to be clear that nothing I say that follows is in any way a reflection on the Presidential Search Committee or the Board of Trustees, who have had to do their work in a challenging environment. The last few months have been unsettling for many of us here at Andrews University. We knew there was going to be change, but we weren't certain how it would impact us. Of course, uncertainty and fear are natural at a time of change. But what was not acceptable is that in the midst of this critical time of decision and change for the campus, messaging and communication started that never should have happened. Most of this was done beyond our campus, although sadly, not all of it. What do I mean? I'm talking about the demeaning and undermining of individuals' characters through half-truths and insinuations. And it has meant that basically some have considered it acceptable within the last few months to take the low road of public smear campaigns. As a result of this approach, individuals were attacked, as were the university and groups within the university. Those attacks were unfair and unreasonable. We know we are not perfect, but these attacks have not presented us or our individual colleagues rightly, and we can see the disappointing result: a considerable number of hurt and even angry people within our community. These types of attacks are not Andrews University. We are so much better than that. And those who have demeaned us need to clearly know that. What has happened as a result of this? Some colleagues who deserve so much better than this have been beaten up. And so, for an example, an individual I have worked with closely for 13 years, a man of integrity, a man who has worked tirelessly for this community and has a deep understanding of higher education, Seventh-day Adventist education, and this community in particular, has been dismissively demeaned in these attacks. And the most unethical part of this injustice is that in these types of attacks, the individual being attacked has no platform for defense. And so a person who has brought significant and lasting positive change on this campus and has advocated consistently for our faculty and students has been carelessly trampled on, mainly by those beyond our campus. And so now we also turn to our President-elect, Dr. John Wesley Taylor. I do not know Dr. Taylor very well, but I do know him to be a passionate person supporting Seventh-day Adventist education, a man who has lived and been valued in multiple different campuses worldwide, and an individual who loves both God and people and is articulate in the values that he upholds as a Seventh-day Adventist leader. He will bring those and many other strengths to this campus. However, through no fault of his own, he now has a harder hill to climb, as questions are being raised about the derogatory and inappropriate attacks on other names in the presidential process. So what do we do? Well, to put it simply, I believe we must help each other as we move forward. How? I would ask you to go to the campus center and take a look at the newly mounted pictures on the walls there. These beautiful renderings of the values that my administrative team agreed should guide our community culture are all presented on those campus center walls. Those values include compassion, justice, integrity, and humility. So with those values in mind, I would ask that we do the following. Firstly, each one of us should refuse to take part in or listen to the gossip and denigration that others may try to share about any colleague. If what we hear or read does not reflect those values, to repeat, the values of compassion, justice, integrity, and humility, then those comments made by others deserve nothing better than deletion or a downvote. Secondly, we must seek to be healers on our campus at this time of change. Let us especially support all those who have been hurt in the last few months. We have all traveled through many challenges together in the last few years. We know how to love and how to heal. Let's do it. And finally, as Dr. Taylor joins our campus, let us speak of what is important to us, but let us also do that with openness and with a willingness to listen. And let us embrace the strengths and passion he will bring to us. A wise person told me last week that legacies do not die. I have spoken about stories, and the story of Andrews University in particular, since I became president 7 years ago. And as we talk about story, we always build on the past chapters in an organization, and then we fill our current story with life and energy of which each of us is a part. That has been the joy of my last almost 7 years of service. So what does that mean right now? It means that while a new chapter will come, our current chapter is not erased. It will only serve as the foundation for the next amazing chapter of Andrews University, a chapter that will again be centered in the continuing power and influence of God and His ongoing leadership of and inspiration for our Andrews University.